We're going to go ahead and start the planning commission meeting. If we could have roll call, please.
Elia,
Here.
Estrada,
Here.
Chomper,
Here.
Huber,
Here.
Blue,
Here.
Stricker,
Here.
Wayman,
Here.
Weber,
Here.
Zitterkoff,
Here.
Okay. Number 2, for all interested parties, a copy of the Nebraska Open Meetings Act is posted on the bulletin board at the south wall of the council chambers. Number 3, notice of changes in agenda may not be made to this agenda less than 24 hours before the beginning of the meeting unless added under item 4 of this agenda. Number 4, citizens with business not scheduled on this agenda, as required by state law, no matter may be considered under this item unless council determines that the matter requires emergency action. Number 5, if we could have approval of the planning commission meetings minutes from March 11, 2024.
So moved.
Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Roll call, please, Zach.
Elia,
Yes.
Estrada,
Yes.
Chomper,
Yes.
Huber,
Yes.
Blue,
Yes.
Stricker,
Yes.
Wayman,
Yes.
Weber,
Yes.
Zitterkoff,
Yes.
Number 6, under new business, A, planning commission to review and discuss study area number 18, blight and substandard determination study dated November 2023 by NC Schaff and Associate. Area number 18 is generally described as properties and tracts of land within the general vicinity north of US Highway 26, south of 40th Street, between 5th Avenue and Avenue D, and the north central portion of the Scottsbluff, containing approximately 103.09 acres. So we'll go ahead and have, open the public hearing. We'll have a presentation by the staff applicant, then we'll ask for public comment, and then we'll close the public hearing and then ask for council.
So this will just be a discussion, and then we'll circle back to a public hearing later on in the agenda. So this is study area 18. It is roughly around Highway 26 and Avenue B north, north of the highway. 103 acres, so it's a sizable one. Currently, the city has about 28.75% of the city is blighted right now. State caps us out at 35% for first-class cities. With the addition of this one, it would bump us up to 31.15, so we still have plenty of room. And then 31.33 if you factor in the next flight study. I guess I can answer any questions if you have any, if you had a chance to look at the study itself.
I have a question. Or is that snacks?
At the public hearing.
Okay,
Yep.
thank you.
Mostly undeveloped land, as you can see on page 14 of the plan. So.
Do you have this go up there, your agenda packet? Mine is not going up here.
Yeah.
You were talking about the percentages. Is there a timeline at any time of the blighted and substandard designation to go away?
Not necessarily. There's a few areas in town that we plan on de-blighting, such as
You can't
Centennial
de-blight.
Park.
Okay,
Yeah.
I didn't know if that was a possibility.
And then with annexations, that also helps us decrease our percentage because we bring more in. And,
Bringing more
yeah.
acres out.
So like the Seth Raymond subdivision isn't factored into this percentage. Triple Peaks is, but so that will lower us a little bit.
A little
but,
bit.
Yeah.
Chair. Chairman, Madam Chair. Could you put
Yes.
that map back up there?
Yeah.
So I looked at all of the stuff in the packet, and is there, but I didn't get a sense, is there any delineation between, in terms of the, I'll say generally the dilapidation of stuff, what is private versus public, like curbs, gutters, sidewalks, kind of a
The ones that are abandoned,
Percentage of that in terms of
that looks like same.
estimated costs or anything like that?
I believe the map here kind of distinguishes what's the parts that are public, that are dilapidated or blighted and substandard, or at least were included in the area. I can't speak at what they were, but that's about the only delineation we have is,
So we don't have any estimates of how that might, what that might cost.
right.
Because they want to repair and fix some of this.
So we can ask questions, we don't have to wait till the public hearing.
Yeah, you can ask me questions right now during the discussion and then public hearing.
So the 35% acreage limitation,
Yep.
is there any other kind of limitation? Like, is there a maximum amount of dollars that can be under TIF or any of that kind of thing?
Not to my knowledge.
So the 35% is the only limitation?
So, yeah, you can bet if the city of the first class like Scottsbluff, it does be 35%. And then
Okay,
that would make those properties eligible for tax financing. And that would be, that's only limited by what a private individual is willing to do. Yeah.
okay.
There's no.
One more question, follow-up question. So back to the part that's public infrastructure, that's part of the blighted stuff. Is there any plans then to, now that there's this information on the area and kind of the amount of that, is to establish some kind of a, if the city is gonna be a partner in de-blighting this area physically and encouraging private owners to do the same, seem like the city should be part of the plan to do the parts that they're responsible for. That's what I'm asking.
Yeah, the parts that are public in the map are just unimproved right away. So when a developer comes in to develop this land that's not platted yet, it would get improved as part of that. And I guess the benefit for the developer would be that they can use TIF to improve that right away.
I think it's probably field.
Okay, move on to the next one.
So on B, planning commission to review and discuss study area number 19, blight and substandard determination study dated November 2023 by MC Shaft and Associates. Area number 19 is generally described properties within the vicinity east of Fifth Avenue, west of Circle Drive, south of East 27th Street, north of East 26th Street, in the central portion of Scottsbluff, containing approximately 7.51 acres.
All right, so as you saw, study area 19 is just northwest of here, the block between 5th and Circle, 27th and 26th. It's a pretty small area. Staff was kind of surprised it wasn't included with when Kmart was blighted. So, and just seeing how it could be improved, we pursued it. It includes 7.51 acres. So a very small increase to the total area. Yeah. And that's about it on this one. It's just a small one that seemed to meet the bill. So if you have any questions.
Any questions?
So I do have a question on a couple of the photos you have from this area. Page 15. That's part of the other disregard. So now that I have the files up and a picture to follow up with my question for the example of the public infrastructure, page 20 of the study, there's a series of pictures. And in the center, it includes a power pole and what seems to be a rather robust guy wire for that pole and a stop sign in the middle of a sidewalk. That's the kind of thing I'm talking about, of plans for changing those things that are part of the public infrastructure. Because we'd identify them, then what?
Yeah, and the city's evaluating the sidewalks.
Okay, that's what, I just want to make sure that there's a plan to address, probably there's a priority orders, but like in terms of, ADA accessibility for sidewalks, that probably flies in the face of that pretty succinctly, I think, so.
Yeah, we're reviewing.
Okay, just wanted to verify.
I think that generally with lighting properties, the hope is that it incentivizes private developer to come in, develop the property, and in the course of doing that, they'll create what's called tax increments to pay for, and cover the, TIF money can only be used for certain things, and so if a private developer comes, builds new, increases the tax value, there's money then to address those issues. And so part of the purpose of lighting property is to give that incentive, so the developer will come in, build privately, and allow the city's, a method for fixing the infrastructure back there.
Yeah, I guess that's my point, is it's kind of like the chicken and egg, is when they do this, probably the time to change these public parts is while they're developing.
Right.
And so where does that money, and it doesn't get earmarked for new cool things, it's fixing stuff we have.
Right, yeah, one of the rules for TIF is that the TIF money has to go to improve the property that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But this is not their property.
right, but it's associated.
Yeah,
with property,
yes,
right?
yes. So, but I think we're saying that we're agreeing, it's just
Right.
that, I'm just trying to clarify for general purpose.
Is that, I have a quick question, like, for example, is that alleyway behind the old Applebee's building, is that the area we're kind of looking at in some of these pictures? Is that an actual alleyway, a public alleyway? Because a lot of those pictures were down that alleyway, but I was just wondering. Well, it could be part of the parcel of the private owner, right, correct? So we're,
I believe it's private.
yeah. So that would be a private fix.
No easement rights.
No easement rights through that?
I don't know.
You'd have, to- okay, well, either or, but example,
Okay. Okay, now we'll go to the public hearing, number 7. A, planning commission to consider the creation of an agricultural estate dwelling site situated on a tract of land situated in the northwest quarter of section 20, township 22, north range 55, west of the 6 PM, commonly identified as 180-818 Highway 92. So we have a presentation by the staff.
So this is an ag state dwelling site designation request for a property out there at Riverview Golf Course, splitting off 2 acres for dwelling purpose. While it doesn't seem very agricultural, looking at code, it does meet the, where is it? Under 4B. An ADS would be permitted if that's on marginal land, which is land with little or relatively little agricultural productivity capability. So being in the middle of the golf course and being in the floodplain, it meets that in staff's opinion. It's in line with the comprehensive plan with it being rural out there. It meets all the requirements of the 2-acre minimum for the dwelling site and the 80-acre minimum for reserved land. So with that, staff recommends a positive recommendation by the Planning Commission to the City Council on the approval of this ag state dwelling site. And the surveyor here is here too.
So do we have anything from the applicant?
Hello, Greg Schills with MC Shaft and Associates, here representing Riverview Golf Course. The owners, they're gonna keep the land in their name, it's not gonna switch hands. They are just wanting to lease it to their parents so they can build a house there, so that's the main reason for this. Thanks.
Okay, thank you. Do we have any public comment on this? Okay, so we'll officially close the public hearing and ask for any council comment.
Question? Is there access granted by the state on the state highway?
I believe so. Yeah, there's already an access there.
So regarding that access question, the notes say that there's a proposed access 25-foot easement through the golf course off of Highway 92.
It's not through the golf course, that's on it. You can see the access from the highway. It goes on the west side of the golf course, closer to the river.
So it comes off of Highway 92, and then the landowners are granting an easement for that
Right.
used as an access road?
Correct.
And that's a permanent situation? In other words,
It's
any owner who buys it later on, they're going to have that same easement?
correct.
Okay.
Yep, it's a perpetual easement.
Any other comments, questions? Go ahead and vote. We have a motion for it?
Make a motion to approve the establishment of the state agricultural state dwelling lot. With the, based on the staff's finding of fact that it complies with the planning and zoning and no findings of fact contrary.
Okay. Roll call, please, Zach.
Estrada?
Yes.
Comfort? Yes. Huber?
Yes.
Baloo?
Yes.
Stricker?
Yes.
Lehman?
Yes.
Weber?
Yes.
Zitterdock?
Yes.
Wild?
Yes.
Okay, we'll go to 7B. Planning Commission to conduct a public hearing for the purpose of reviewing and obtaining comment on the redevelopment plan for the Element Sports Summit project. We have comments from the staff?
John Salzer, Deputy City Attorney for the City of Scottsbluff, and like the other TIF projects you've reviewed, your primary standard of review is whether this meets the comprehensive plan. And as set forth in the memo in your packet, this is in the northeast district of the comprehensive plan and the WNCC campus and surrounding area neighborhood, and that contemplates daytime hours with special events in the evening, a variety of building types, heights and setbacks, high activity during the day, low amounts of noises and smells, and O&P is an appropriate zone. This is zoned O&P, which includes community centers as principal permitted use, so it's our opinion that it does meet the comprehensive plan. Any questions? Thank you.
Any other comments from the public? Okay, we'll then officially close.
There's one.
Thank you.
You want to come up? Let's come up here, please, to the podium. Okay, go ahead.
That's intimidating.
No.
Your name?
Don't let it intimidate you.
Oh, I just need to know, or having the understanding of, I guess, what the tip is. I know I said I put it out, but I did not quite get to that as far as understanding what that means for the development, and it's a financing that they, that
The tax increase.
I don't know what the actual title of your is on here. The developer, they're applying for the TIF as a financing?
So,
Is that the?
do you want to get up and explain what the TIF is, or?
Sure.
Is that your main
Well, that's
question?
part of
What
it,
is
yes,
TIF?
that's part of my question as for it, then, part of it goes in with what his question, which was also part of my question. This is a blighted, section, so once the development, does that mean that that potentially it would become, you would take off the blighted because there was such a high development area?
The city could potentially, yeah, in the future, remove it from the land associated. But it's not tied to the property per se.
Okay, okay. But yeah, I guess I don't understand what exactly the TIF is, or, as far as for the development. Again, I tried to get to reading that, but I didn't, so trying to understand what that means as far as for the development of it, for the area. Curiosity as well as reading this a little bit for the redeveloper. Because it's talking about that she'll only be developing lot 3, and then then the other lots are up for sale for others for the development. Or that could be as a reimbursement. Part of why I'm asking this is that, for the understanding is, what does that also potential mean for the taxpayers in this area? Because it's specifically talking about WNCC and what I know this place as is the Indian Hills area. So my curiosity, at first I had thought that with the development here, that meant that a tax increase or asking for a tax to help with this development. So that's what I'm trying to understand, is what this means from the area that I live in, specifically, because I am part of the Indian Hills area. So that's what I'm trying to understand in this, as far as what that goes. So I don't know if that can be answered.
I'm happy to explain it. You want me to?
Yeah, John, if you would explain it.
Okay,
Sure.
so if Zach, you go to the map on there. So yeah, this will not affect the tax, this is a Indian Hills area. So the tax increment financing is a method where, this area is already blighted, so that's not a issue tonight, is whether it's not blighted. Because those other areas are blighted. So when a property is blighted, it gives the opportunity for a developer to use what's called tax increment financing. And the city doesn't have a pot of TIF money. So what tax increment financing is it allows the developer to come in, improve the property, and the taxes off the property, only their own property that they improve. Instead of that going to, so typically the taxes go to the taxing jurisdictions of the city, the county, the school, WNCC. So everybody that pays property taxes, it goes to those entities, the NRD, ESU 13, and I think that's about it. Yeah. And so what TIF does is it enables them, instead of those taxes going to those entities for 15 years, the taxes, again, from their property only comes back to them and allows them to use those funds for certain infrastructure costs of their project. In this case, before they can build on this property, they have to improve 18th Avenue from frontage road to 27. And it's gonna kind of parallel the one that goes by Target. I'm not sure what it is. And so that's significant investment that they have to incur just to start building on that property. And so, right, yep, that is, yep.
Okay, so that's what I was.
So what that does is it allows them to, again, if they build on that property, tax is on that property gonna go up, they can use that increase on their property only to, really, the city's a conduit, so they will pay their taxes, their increased taxes, it'll go to the county, they'll get the difference back of the increased taxes. So the taxes right now, the base value will still always go to those taxing entities. And then the increase will come back to the developer to go towards those costs.
Okay.
And when we talked about reimbursement in that plan, it just is that the other method of financing is if they are able to sell those lots, because that road also That road also is, I guess, increases the value of those lots and makes them
Accessible,
accessible, right? And so,
which is,
you know, if they would sell those in the future, that would basically go in their pocket to pay the road. Or if they're developed, TIF from those properties could also be used. So it would only be those 3 lots. I mean, it'd be lots 1, 2, and 3 that can be used for TIF on this project. Because again, like we talked about earlier, the TIF has to be, I mean, the improvements have to be associated with what they're paying for. You can't take TIF from one property and pay for improvements across the town. It has to be on that.
okay,
But yeah, I mean, there'll be no effect on the, you know, residential area. Yeah, it's not.
but and that was my curiosity, not knowing the city, not how that all works, and then the tip, what that meant or where that was accessing to, or how, if that was, like you said,
Yeah, the city doesn't have, that's a common misconception is that when the city approves TIF, that they're giving somebody else's taxes to the developer, and that's just not the case. It's just a method for the developer to kind of use their own increase in property value for 15 years they get it back. So that for 15 years they get it back, they go back in the back.
okay,
Yeah, it's.
okay. And then, for, okay, so then the next part with the blighted, and, I think it was your question in regards to what is the city's maintenance, something that I would like to further understand when I was, because I thought it was just about the development and not the other blighted areas, so wondering, what all is the city's, do we ask the city to maintain, and then what is private, like, I think someone else had asked, like, for where the old Applebee's are, so that's all privately owned, so they're supposed to maintain that, the private sector of whoever owns that area, part of that. So within this development here, even though, the Brewers are gonna build or make that 18th Street, you're saying that they have to have it and take on that responsibility of creating that road. Does the city take that up and then maintain it afterwards?
Yeah, the city will become the city street once it's finished. And that's true for any subdivision development, the developer is responsible for the cost of typically it's a street. And then the city, then it becomes a city street, and then the city takes it over after that.
Okay, all right. And the curb and gutter, or I think that was your question, was that's part of the curb gutter, but not necessarily the sidewalk. Curb gutter is the city's, not the sidewalk.
The sidewalk will be the city right away, yeah. It's typically the landowner's responsibility to take care of that.
Some cracks and stuff like that, just like in the neighborhoods.
Right. And there are some what we call on-site costs, and you can see in that spreadsheet, the on-site costs. So for example, on the other areas with lighting, you know, a lot of times these developments don't have to, you know, it's not as big as this one where you're having to put in a street. But there are some on-site costs that are allowed to be paid for TIF, even though they're on private property. So, and those, if you see on that spreadsheet there, yeah, sure. Those are kind of the general things that are allowed to be used for TIF.
Okay.
And so those would be, if there's enough TIF available, those would be eligible as well, in this case as well, but all of the projects.
Okay, okay, well, thank you for clearing up the misconception of TIF, because that was what the impression that I got, so that's what I was curious of.
Yeah, I think that's the common misconception is that other people's taxes are paying for this, and that's not the case.
Okay, okay. I just started into this, I got a nice little pink ticket from the taxes of the levy, and then I started to work, so I thank you for your time.
Before you go sit down, can we have your name, please?
Catherine
Catherine
Gonzalez.
Gonzalez, okay, thank you.
Thank you, everybody, for your time.
Anybody else? Okay, we'll just first close the public hearing and ask for a council comment.
Not for me.
So part of what we're asking for the resolution is that it's compliant with the comp plan. Okay.
So does anybody want to make a motion?
Well, given that, in the previous, hearing that we had on this, I articulated why I thought it was in compliance with the comp plan. I don't think anything's changed with that from that public hearing that we had. And so I'll make a motion to adopt the resolution that says that this is compliant, determined by planning commission to be compliant with the comprehensive plan for the Element Sports Center.
Second.
All in favor, say, roll call.
Bamber. Yes. Huber.
Yes.
Blue.
Yes.
Stricker.
Yes.
Wayman.
Yes.
Weber.
Yes.
Zitterkoff.
Yes.
Lyle.
Yes.
Estrada.
Yes. Okay. 7C, Planning Commission to conduct a public hearing for the purpose of taking comment and making a recommendation to the City Council on the question of whether area number 18 should be declared as substandard and blighted according to the Nebraska Community Development Law. So, Zach, you wanna?
Yes. So yeah, this is just a public hearing for License 18. So I guess you can open up for public comment. I don't have anything different to say.
Okay. Any public comment? Okay, so we'll first close the public hearing and then we'll ask for council comment. You have a motion?
I'll move that we adopt the resolution presented in the board packet.
You have a second?
Second.
Roll call, please, Zach.
Huber.
Yes.
Blue.
Yes.
Stricker.
Yes.
Wayman.
Yes.
Weber.
Yes.
Zitterkoff.
Yes.
Lyle.
Yes.
Estrada.
Yes.
Bamber.
Yes.
Number D, Planning Commission to conduct a public hearing for the purpose of obtaining comment and making a recommendation to the City Council on the question of whether area number 19 should be declared as substandard and blighted according to the Nebraska Community Development Law. The Planning Commission consider and act on resolution number 2403 to recommend the City Council declare study area number 13 as substandard and blighted. Zach, do you have any comments?
No.
Well, the public hearing, Zach doesn't have any comments. Any comments from the public? Okay, we'll close the public hearing and we'll ask for council comment. And any council have any comments? Have a motion?
I'll move that we adopt the resolution as concluded in the board meeting packet.
Second.
Roll call, please, Zach.
Blue.
Yes.
Stricker.
Yes.
Wayman.
Yes.
Weber.
Yes.
Zitterkoff.
Yes.
Lyle.
Yes.
Estrada.
Yes.
Bamber.
Yes.
Huber.
Yes.
Okay, 7E, Planning Commission to conduct a public hearing to consider an ordinance text change regarding land use fees. Okay, we'll open the public hearing. Zach.
So with the implementation of our new permitting software, come to realization that one, we're missing some fees for our applications in code, and then also the way code is written, we can't really execute with our software for payment online. So as you can see in the staff notes that, usually we used to charge a $3 fee per letter we sent out. We've been waiving that since the implementation of this, since we can't calculate it. Also, staff reviewed the other fees of other similar sized first class cities in the state, and we were the lowest, which isn't a bad thing, but we also haven't updated the code since 1995. So what I'm proposing is kind of to simplify it. So you'll see that, where is it at? Plating related things would be 200 instead of 100. This would also include charging for plat vacations. We haven't been charging for plat vacations since that wasn't in code, and We've seen an uptick in those. And then clarification on the ag estate dwelling site fee. We've been treating it as a preliminary plat. This would just clarify that. And then there was a subdivision application and amended plat application previously, and we'll do away with subdivision application and just call it an amended plat. So that would just be for the replats, either if they have to come through you guys or if they go to staff only. And then for zoning, $300 for a rezone or a special use permit. Special parking, which like Dollar General, were granted a reduced parking, 150. Planned unit development, I believe there's no change on it. I'm pretty sure it's already 300, or it's 250, so it's just a slight increase on that one. And then the mobile home park license, which is, we don't get new ones, so that's just for the annual recertification. For the Board of Adjustment, just upped it to 150. It was 100, just to make sure people have the right to contest. Then other fees would be zoning verification letters and zoning maps. We don't see too many of them, but in case we get some that would be time consuming, there's some compensation for it. And then along with those changes to 6629, I went through the subdivision code and the zoning code to remove any references to the $3 fee, or for developers having to pay for the register of deeds fee, since we just factor that into the whole fee. The city records it. And then, let's see, and then 2517.3 had a thing where if, for a Board of Adjustments variance, if the applicant didn't pay the $3 fee per letter, then that was grounds for dismissal, so we removed that. So with all that, staff's making a recommendation. Recommends the Planning Commission make a positive recommendation to the City Council for this ordinance text change regarding land use fees.
Okay. Do we have any comments from the public?
One question.
Go ahead. You want to come up here?
That little mic, it's not a mess. I'm just curious, the 11/17 for the land use map, usually that's only one page, so it's $20 per page, or is it, it's, what am I trying to say? Okay, for my job, that's for my whole area, for several counties, you're only talking about for this county, for this city.
City's sensible events, extraterritorial jurisdiction.
Okay.
Yeah, so usually a land map, like those, will specify onto like a certain parcel or group of parcels. So they'll be zoomed in, but that won't be the entire like city on a 11/17. It'll be what they're asking for.
For that,
And this
okay.
is for the city to print it,
Right.
whereas you can still access it, print it yourself, on the website too, so.
That, yeah, okay, oh, okay, which, if they don't know where to go, then they'd be calling you to ask for that. So like the stuff that I would acquire for my job where it shows the township and range, that's not what this is about, because that's
Now,
what.
this would be zoning, utilities of water main surveys, blight areas, any, yeah,
Oh, like that wonderful map on your wall?
Yeah.
Okay, okay,
any of this data printed out by the city.
okay, and then zoom in, of course, I want it, okay, thank you.
Any other comments or questions? Okay, we'll close the public hearing, and does any have any questions or comments?
So if the planning commission decides to adopt your recommendation, does that mean a salary increase for planning commission members?
Unfortunately not. The state won't let us.
No.
Yeah.
I noticed in your comparison with other jurisdictions here, Scottsbluff County is not listed. Do they have a similar fee structure?
I'm not sure, I didn't look at counties, I just did first-class cities, our size.
I'm just curious because
Yeah.
they're our closest competition. I
Yeah.
see that we're going to be higher than Gary.
Yep. We will. They're higher than us right now.
Jerry, did you have a question?
Yes, they had, yeah, could you speak to some of a little bit to the detail of the,
the, like the special exception from the fire code, how would there be a special exception to begin with?
I'm not sure what that was, so that's why we just.
Okay. And, the perimeter fence, same thing?
That will go away when, as we kind of discussed last year, I was working on zone code updates. The perimeter fence thing will just go away. We don't get any applications for it. It's kind of ambiguous, but exactly it is.
Yeah, that was gonna ask, what is it?
It's.
I mean, I know what a perimeter fence is, but in the
From my
scope of this.
understanding, it is a fence that you have that wraps around two different properties. So if you own your lot, lot one and lot two, and you want a fence, and your house is on lot one, and it's just vacant on lot two, you want a fence in lot two, you'd have to come get an application for a perimeter fence to make it one cohesive yard, while being two different properties.
Across the lot line.
Yeah,
That's what, okay.
so.
Any more comments or questions?
I have one for you, Zach. The special exemption from fire code, is there anything in there that cover our 2 miles outside?
That's the only thing this is the only reference to this project finding that was the fee.
Okay, because obviously we're raising our fees for some stuff, so I just want to make sure that maybe we didn't miss anything, so.
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure why it was in the land use fees.
Okay.
Any other questions, comments? Do we have a motion?
Make a motion to make a positive recommendation to council to increase modify and increase the fees as presented by staff based on fairly close alignment with our closest city competition.
Second?
Second.
Roll call, please, Zach?
Stricker?
Yes.
Wayman?
Yes.
Weber?
Yes.
Zitterkoff?
Yes.
Wild?
Yes.
Strouder?
Yes.
Bamper?
So,
Huber?
Yes.
Blue?
Yes.
Okay. Number 8, staff report, staff to update planning commission on comp plan.
So, we received 2 bids, and that was April 5th. We opened them 2, they're both competitive. We selected market planning consultants. Council still needs to review this, since they have experience with doing other comprehensive plans. They're doing North Platte and Grand Island right now, and they recently did Hastings. So we will be, we just finalized the contract, so that'll go to city council next Monday. Once city council signs it, then we'll get to going on that, so just hope you guys are in the loop that that's moving forward, and I'll be reaching out to you here soon.
Okay.
What was their name?
Martin Planning Consultants.
Zach, I have a question, and this might be, yeah, I remember we did a lot of that stuff that came with that last plan, comprehensive plan, it's been 10 years already, but on some tiny homes and then tiny home, areas and stuff. We haven't had a whole lot of that yet, but it seems like there's a lot of push towards that. Is there gonna be more detail in this comprehensive plan with some of that, or whether or not it's even?
They're potentially.
Okay, I didn't know if that was just something that came up.
There'll be a housing element, so.
I think that's what we decide as part of development.
Part of the deal, yeah, and that was just something I put it out there just because I know it's been something, before we had quite a few meetings on it prior to that, remember that, and so.
Yeah.
Instead of redoing it again later on, might do it once, but I don't know, so.
Yeah, there'll be a housing element of it, like, there'll be several different chapters.
Several different chapters.
So, there'll be transportation, future land use map, which is important as well. It's in there, so.
Okay, the schedule for June meeting is June 10th, 2024.
We'll have a plat vacation, 2 preliminary plats and 2 final plats, just 2 different subdivisions.
Okay. So we have a motion to adjourn.
I move, we adjourn.
Do you have a second?
Second.
Roll call, please. Zach?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.